Hey everyone, my name is Jordan Marquis, and I'm doing a podcast where I interview business owners here in the great city of Grand Blanc. Today we have the business owner of the best breakfast restaurant in Grand Blanc, Grafted Root. We have Michelle. Michelle, thanks for coming out today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we'll just get right into it. For those who don't know, tell us a little about who you are and what Grafted Root is.
So I'm Michelle Matthews, and I raised my children. My husband and I raised our children here in Grand Blanc. And dream of mine ever since I was young, talking to my grandfather, he always wanted to open up a bakery, and he never did. And always talked about it. He was always a baker and cooker. And anyway, but then I was a bartender earlier in life, and I always wanted to open up my own bar with good appetizers, not deep fried everything, and good
Like healthy?
drinks, healthier.
Sure.
Yeah, just veggie and dip. I mean, it's so simple. Why can't you get that with a really nice drink with
Right.
homemade mixes and just, instead of all packaged. So anyway, my husband and I have been together since high school, and I was always talking about how I wanted to do this. And so later in life, after we raised our children, finally trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up. And he's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, I want to open up my bar. And he's like, oh, I'm so sick of hearing about it. So either do it or shut up about it. So he supported me in my attempt to open up a restaurant. So I wanted to do a small eatery in my community with my community for my community was the emphasis. So Grafted Root basically came from that. When you graft plants, you bring two plants together and you graft their roots to grow what you want. So the mission statement is to bring the community together to bring something new.
Okay. And was Grafted Root always the name since the beginning?
It was. Yep. I was actually in horticulture classes when I thought of the name, but it worked for the restaurant because of the mission of, still using local foods and as many Michigan products as I can. Everything made from scratch. And then, as far as like using the community, we also have local artists that display their artwork. We had local musicians in the beginning, and
Right. Okay. So from bar to bakery or bakery to bar to what is it considered now?
So it's mostly a brunch place, I would say. So we've kind of given up on the nights. We have, but a lot of brunch with some excellent drinks, and breakfast is also my favorite meal of the day. So that was my other thing. Well, I love an appetizer, but I love a good breakfast. So I just have a lot of breakfast items, very popular for my pancakes, which seem simple, but they're very good. My French toast, quiche, and then just some different combinations that I put together over the years.
Are you like the chef behind like the recipes?
I am. So it's everything I've always cooked at home, and there's obviously some things that friends have influenced me with, or I'll find something online and I'll tweak it to how I want to cut out salt or whatever, or add different spices. And so it's all my things, how I cook and how I cooked at home. And Kathy, who cooks for me, she's been excellent because I needed somebody who would do it how I wanted to do it without always coming back with, well, why don't we try it this way? Why don't we change? It's like, please just listen. This is so. Anyway,
Right.
So she's fabulous, and she's learned how I want it cooked and served. And so, just.
So it's like a healthy and local establishment.
Yeah, I mean, so healthy in the sense that it's real food. So it's not necessarily zero sugar or, I don't do a lot of alternative, like I don't have the fake sugars. And I mean, we have honey. Oh, yeah, well, that's not fake. So we have honeys and alternatives, but everything's made from scratch. And we still have bacon. We still have ham and turkey. And but it's just, fresh made, and it's from local farms to the best of my ability.
Okay. Tell us about some of your drinks that you have there. Because you said, a bar at the beginning.
Yeah. So I guess probably started with the best Cosmo. I mean, I had one of my best Cosmos from another bar in Baltimore, and I had to replicate that. So basically that was like people are like, I want a Cosmo, but I don't like a traditional, package. Anyway, but so I just make the cranberry juice from scratch. I make the sweet and sour from scratch, and so that's really good. And then we moved into, when we were open at nights, to Sidecar Thursday. Sidecars are another one of our favorite drinks, and just my alternative of how I make a sidecar, grafted root style. So I just put a little extra in it. So
Yes, I mean, I'm 21, so I don't really know too much about all these drinks.
right, okay.
But for those watching or listening, they'll know more about that. So tell us how long you've been at this current location and where you're located at.
So we're on Saginaw, and where Holly comes into Saginaw across from the Grand Blanc High School. In a very small plaza. People can't see me. In fact, we just got a phone call yesterday from an elderly gentleman. He sounded like on the phone. He's like, I'm here, but I can't find you. I'm in the parking lot of McDonald's.
Oh,
And so there is a McDonald's in front of us, in front of the plaza, so we're behind that. And so I promised him, I said, just come around the corner. You'll see us with the outdoor tables. So I don't have a prominent sign. But anyway, yes, so we've been there for 10 years, so almost 10 years. We opened January 1st of 2014.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, we're in our 10th year.
Oh, so
So-
that you started at this location and
Yep,
stayed at
always
this location?
been. Yep, always been. Yep, from get.
Great. So you've been around almost 10, so 10 years this January.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
awesome.
believe that.
I know. Are you going to do any celebrations or?
Oh, maybe. Sometimes I just get so tired. But, I need to do another. Every couple of years I had a customer appreciation, gathering. So I probably do need to do something. 'Cause-
Yeah, I mean, you're a star in the community, so I'm sure whatever you do, you get the support. So,
Oh, thank you. Yes, they have shown how they support me. It's been good.
so what's your best seller at Grafted Root?
Probably the Baja Benedict, which is a, kind of like a traditional Benedict, but it doesn't have hollandaise sauce because that doesn't hold very well. But it's just toast with a garlic butter that we make, poached egg, and cheddar cheese on top, and avocado. Don't let me forget that. So
Well, yeah,
that's the biggest.
Avocado's the fan favorite, probably. So
fan favorite. So yeah, on weekends it took people a long time to get over that I couldn't make them on the weekends because we're so busy, and so we have a shorter menu on the weekends for more brunch items, and we took that one off. But people would come in and beg, "Can't you please just make me a Baja Benedict?" So that, and then
so you've added it back on the weekend menu?
no, it's only if we're not super busy in the kitchen.
Special-
yeah,
special
requests, but grudgingly sometimes. Yeah, it's
Sure.
like so. But we try and put it on the specials board on the weekend. But that's probably the biggest. Quiche is popular. Again, like I said, the pancakes and French toast. Yeah.
Speaking of special request, is there any like secret menu that you have or that you can whip up if someone requests something? Because I know like Starbucks and McDonald's, they don't have certain
Yeah.
things on their menu, but you can order
Right.
them anyways.
No, I guess there's a couple people that order a certain sandwich that I used to have that I don't have it anymore, but yeah, I could. So it's like the old number 12. So can I please get that? But yeah, but not really. No.
Okay. I'm just curious see if anyone can get any new products from you.
Yeah.
So that was the best. The Benedict was the best product. So what's the most underrated product that you think deserves more the spotlight that's overlooked often?
Probably the Dharma. So some people are reluctant to try that because it sounds weird, but it's similar to a Benedict in the setup. It's toast with cottage cheese, jam, and a poached egg on top of that. So people are like, that's a little weird. So,
But it's good to
yeah,
you.
It's one. It was one of my favorites, and it had to go on the menu as the Dharma because that's what I've called it. I've made it for myself for 30 years, and I don't know, maybe I don't know when Dharma and Greg came out on the TV, but you're too young for that.
Sure.
But but she was kind of this hippie free spirit woman, and when I thought of this to make this at home, I just thought this is something Dharma would eat. So that's
Right.
why it's always been the Dharma breakfast.
Out of the,
And so I put it on the menu, and people are like, "That's weird." But it's like, just eat it. If you don't like it, I'll eat it, and I won't charge you. Don't worry about
Sure.
it. But and then they eat it, and they like it.
And is
So
there a description on the menu?
yes, yeah, it is. So they're like, I don't know, cottage cheese with jam.
I mean, it sounds good to me,
yeah,
honestly.
it's really good. So
Yeah.
try it. That's the most underrated.
Yeah. So you hear here, folks. Make sure to try the Dharma. If you like cottage cheese and jam, I'm sure it's got to be
mean,
good.
What can be better?
Right. You won't pay for everyone's though. If everyone comes to
No.
try it,
Yeah, if everybody says I hate it, but they
Right.
can't eat it because then they got to give it to me and I get to eat it. So
that is true. Speaking of crazy, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened at this location in the last 10 years?
crazy. I don't know.
Whether it be COVID, customers,
Yeah, there's like,
experience.
I guess my favorite story is this. Again, an elder couple came in when I was close to the first couple months or whatever, first year that I was open, and sitting there, and he was just grumpy, And also my motto or my thing that I tell my wait staff or workers: if somebody doesn't want to be here, don't feel bad about saying you don't have to be here. This is not a
Right.
place for everybody. Go, but no hard feelings. Go. So anyway, you could tell he didn't want to be there. The wife was sitting there very quiet, and he's just like, "I want a coffee." I'm like, "Okay," he's looking at the menu, which I don't understand it because there is a basic breakfast that's just home fries, eggs, and toast, and there's pancakes and there's French toast, and he's like,
All the classics.
all the classics along with the Dharma, and the
sure.
Baja, But he's like, I just thought there'd be something normal on this menu. I'm like, okay, well, sir, I can. What would you like? I don't know. I just give me a coffee. Anyway, I gave him his coffee, and he sat there, and I come back a little bit later. He's like, no, I just don't say anything. I don't want to. I'm like, so I could just tell he didn't. So I said, sir, it doesn't seem like you want to be here. He's like, well, I don't, but you wanted to come here,
All right.
Well, you don't have to come. Just never mind. We're gonna go. Just give me my bill. I'm like, no, sir. You don't. I'm not gonna give you a bill for the coffee. You gotta give me my bill. I need to have my bill. I'm like, no.
He just wanted to argue, it seemed like.
Yeah,
with
because he
everything.
just wanted to pay and he wanted to leave. But I'm just like, he just was so mad that I wouldn't give him a bill. Well, you can never run a restaurant like this. I can't even believe this. Thank you, sir. We'll just have a wonderful day. And
10 years later.
10 years later, it's like, it's okay. But yes, we're not a place for everybody, but I love those customers that just come in and they're, many customers have told me how I need to change my sign or do this or do that. I'm like, no, there's a reason I did it like I did it. And that is, you can't see the sign. Yes, you're right. But when you see it, you see it.
Right.
So anyway.
Everyone's a critic,
Everyone's a critic
So.
and has a better way of how I should run things. But
Yeah.
I just like, no, that's okay. What it'll be, it'll be.
Right. So, what's been the most rewarding experience in this business?
I guess kind of similar, just the people who did get me, did get what I'm trying to do. And
Because it's a niche kind of.
it is. And yeah, and I don't advertise and it's all word of mouth. And the people who supported me through the COVID and, extremes. And, I never had to close and they would buy gift certificates. So
Really?
just the people that believed in what we were trying to do. It's just,
And probably because it's a local business. So.
yeah. I'm
I know a lot of places did have to close, though. So,
Yeah, which surprised me, some that I didn't expect. So yeah,
you got to get breakfast during COVID,
That's
no one
right.
can stop you from eating breakfast. So, what has been the most challenging thing to overcome in this business?
Well, I guess just all the taxes and the codes and but I mean, yeah, it was hard when I was opening it, but like I tell people, I wouldn't want to open up another place because now I know what I didn't know. When I didn't know what I didn't know, it was fine because each step of the way they'd say, well, you need to do this step now. And like, okay, tell me everything I need to do to open up a place.
Right. I'm sure it's
And
overwhelming.
It is. But I would do all the steps they'd tell me. Then I'd go in and say, okay, I've done all that. They're like, okay, but you didn't do this. I'm like, okay, but you didn't tell me that. So, but so now it's like all the red tape. But, just trying to keep up with, I guess, the tax. Because I do everything. I do the books. I do the ordering.
Oh, yourself.
I do everything myself. So, I mean, I pick up the food. I organize the food. I order the food. I do the taxes.
You create the recipes.
I create the recipes. I pay the payroll. I hand check. Because I'm old school. Everything's pen and paper. So yeah, I do everything. So I mean, I guess it's tiring, but it's I don't know. When you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life, right?
Right. So you say it's worth all the
Yeah.
adversities.
It is. It is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And to finish off, just one last thing. So, do you have any? You talked about your struggles and you're overcoming those. So, do you have any advice for the up and coming generation of business owners, entrepreneurs, people who want to start something local? Can you give them any piece of advice or?
Yeah, just persevere, you know. If it's something that you truly believe in, follow the way you want it to be. You know, like I said, so many people try to give me advice on how I should do things better, how I, you know, like I said, put white behind my sign so you can see it, advertise here, do this, pay the, you know. But, you know, follow your vision, and eventually people will get it if you're true to the how you want to do it. And yeah, get through the red tape because it's worth it.
Mhm.
It's worth it.
So just stick to your vision.
Stick to it. Yeah. Don't let other people sway you the way they, you know. I mean, obviously there's some good advice to people who've been in business a long time. But yeah, stick to their vision.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the advice, and thanks for taking the time to your busy schedule to come. You said
Yeah.
you do everything in your business, so I really appreciate that.
No problem.
And thanks for everyone for listening. Make sure you go visit Grafted Root. Weekdays if you want the Benedict, weekends if you don't. And we'll see you next time.
Great. Thank you.